What is going on? All right. I'll turn on my camera for this one. All right. So, we're going to go over today and how I made 4,400. 4,400? 4K and 400-ish, I believe. Here's my P&L for the end of the day, 8,200. And I was at 36 at the start of the day. All right. So I'm going to be very transparent. I'm going to go ahead and open my trading execution marks. And now you can see how many trades I've taken throughout the day. And we're going to go through each and every one of them. All right. So first thing I always do, we have 7:30. I don't trade until 7:30 ish. Fee and all right. Then let's go ahead and mark out our fib from here to here and here to here, even though I know that it's not gonna go down here. We don't need this one actually. We'll get rid of this one. Okay. I'm also gonna mark a fib from this one here to this to the gap. All right. Then we'll talk about what happened. So the market opened. We pushed up, leaving a gap. So we have this huge ass gap, right? Now, we'll just name this opening gap. Okay. Now, for the beginning of the day, for the beginning of the day, what I wanted market to do was go towards our gap that we had previously since last Thursday/Friday. This gap right here. Right? That was created on Thursday/Friday. Let me go ahead and get rid of this one and do it perfectly. So this was the gap on whatever day this was, 12/11, 12-11, 25 gap. All right. So I dragged this all the way because I wanted market to fill this gap before doing anything. All right. Boom. All right. So I'm bullish for the day until we fill this gap. Now, that doesn't mean I won't take trades, like sells against it. But first, so here's the first fib I have, right? First OTE range is here. And I do enter this, as you can see, because it lines up with my time frame. I never trade before like 7 o'clock because here we get volatility, and also 7:30 we get volatility. Now I do get stopped out here because I went break even way too early. So I had my 50 tick stop. So I probably would have been up for the day. I probably would have been up actually like 5K, but that's all right. So here's the trade that I wanted to do, right? And then here I took another trade. I believe this was a bit of FOMO, or what was this actually? Oh, maybe I was trying to take shorts from this range. No. Huh. Maybe this was a little bit FOMO. That's what it's looking like. But I believe we went break even on this. If I just say. Yeah. I mean, we got like $200, I think, $250 right here, which isn't bad. Okay. Now here is the next range I've seen. So we have whatchamacallit. We have this push up that we got after it broke a low. So it created this range and this OTE. Boom. This is our next OTE range. So, but I also seen this sweep right here. I'll mark out what I see in a second. But this range right here for shorts. Boom. And 50 points. And I was just aiming for OTE range. So a little 115. Which gets hit down here. And then it buys me back in. Okay. Now, here's one I want to go over very quickly. So, we have this high being made and this high being swept. Boom. Here's our sweep. And then we have this low right here being swept with this down close candle. Right? After we had a big push up, we had a manipulation down, which is our break of these lows, and then it sweeps it basically, and then it goes back up, making it look like somewhat like this. Boom, boom. And then basically boom, just like that. Basically like that. Right. So there's our little pattern, but we don't trade off pattern. We trade off OTE ranges. So there's our OTE range set and our new range being made for our OTE. So here's what I seen. I seen another sweep of these highs, and I know we can't go any higher than this. Or if we do want to go higher, we have to sweep something before we go up, or we have to rebalance something before we go higher. Right? So we have this high being swept here. Then we have this low being swept as well. Where's it at? This low right here being swept with this. Alright. That's why you place it at this candle. Right? And then this needs to be up a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So that's what I seen. I entered off this candle and I put another entry once I confirmed that there was it wasn't gonna go any higher, and it swept up here. Right? So here's our little pattern that we made, our low to our high being swept by this low, and this low sweeping this high right here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So I added another position. So I had 2 contracts. I sold at these lows right here, just in case. So I took a partial here, and then I kept my runner, and I was at break even at this point, right? Now, then I took the range that we made from this high to our lowest low that we make, our next lowest low, which would be this one right here, because it breaks this, and then I get another fill at this one right here, at this part, at this 0.05 range, or it might have been lower when I had it. I might have looked at this break of these lows, so probably here. Yeah. So here's our next OTE range. Right? Just about. So I did a market sell. So I had two contracts going in here, and I was break even definitely at this moment. As soon as I added, I moved my break even to at this 0.705 range, because that was the midway point, and then I wrote it down to my OTE range down here, and I had a buy. I had a buy limit set and ready, and I bought in with 3 contracts to contrast, right, with 50 ticks. Boom. And I was aiming just for 200 points, which took forever, by the way, to hit, but eventually it hit after like 2 hours or something. Right, there we go. And that's basically my break-even trade down here, because I went break-even too early. My my 250 back after FOMO, I believe. And then here's my winning day of about 1,000, and then another 1,000 here, right? So that's 2,000 on a day, roughly, I believe. And then I also always go by the system of having this up when I'm aiming for 200 points as well. Here we go. And to explain it, basically, at this level right here, I always go break even. Okay, depending on how the candles are formed and how they close. So at this candle close, I was break even already. At 1 to 3 RR, I move my stop profit into 1 RR, and then I just wait until 4 RR. Now, if I want to carry this further and neglect the model, basically, I would keep on moving my stop profit just 1 RR up, not factoring in any fair value gaps. Now, there's also another range right here at this London low that was created, right? So let's mark this out, actually. Let me get the fib. Okay, and here's our next OTE range that was made. Boom, smack. All right, so here's the next entry. But as you can see, we were asleep by this time, so we didn't get this entry. Okay, then I thought shorts were gonna play out from this fib right here. This break a structure at this wick. Oh no. This candle. So about around here, I believe. Right? I thought this was our high of the day, but it turns out that it was up here. And now you're wondering, why would I have a market limit sell up here? And I even called it out, 793 in Discord. So let me bring that up real quick. And as that loads, I'm going to go to the reason why. All the way back towards that Thursday and Friday. Okay. So we have this gap, and it's basically our range of imbalance. So what I did was I took the fib from wick to wick, and I had this level right here. And guess where that lands? Just about at that 793 range, right? To the tick. So let's go ahead and change this. Now, this doesn't always work, but for the most part, it has. So I was betting on that, and I'm already up the day. Keep that in mind. I'm already up the day minus this loss right here of 250. So I'd say we're up 1.7 ish, 1.7. Yeah, I'd say around that. Here's our Discord, and right here, looking for shorts. If it gets there, 793, right? And 747 was that miscalculated short right here. But 793, right? So I had a limit sell up here. And boom. 793. I think it was 75. 793.50. I did like two half ticks below where this OTE range was, just in case. But yeah, then I just aimed for, instead of 200 points like I usually do, I aimed for London lows and Asia lows, which would be down here. And boom smack, we get full TP. Right. Now, I didn't get full TP at first and I got stopped out. But no worries, I got a free re-entry at this top tick, right? So I get stopped out at this candle for $1,000 because I was following my system of where's it at? I was following my system of 1 to 4 RR. So I was trailing at this 4 RR range, wherever this was. So I made like around 900 to $1,000 when I got stopped out. Then I made another fib range from the high to the low. Oh, whoops. From the high to the low of this candle, right? Because it changes to it starts going up. It switches candles. So I get my fill right there. Then I re-enter to another short, right? Right at this wick, no drawdown, and that sets me up for a $2,000 win right here. Boom. Right. Right. There you go. And basically those are all my trades for the day and why I took them, right? Now, as soon as this went to around $500, I went break even immediately. As soon as this one went to $250, I went break even immediately, right? It's just all about risk management. Now, after we fill this gap, right, towards the third 3/4 of this gap, you could have aimed for the opening gap, right? It doesn't get filled all the way, as you can see. Just gets filled like just the top quarter. Now, the only reason I aimed for Asia lows is because this would be called a New York reversal, and that's exactly what it did. Now, after this New York range is made, I don't know how to trade past it, right? So anything past here, I feel like you should not be trading, right? So we have all this. So I concurred after sweeping both gaps that first of all, we were in a seek and destroy profile, obviously, as you can see, because of all the ups and down movements, trying to seek your sell stops and all that, and your buy stops. So, and then after that, I said it was low probability because people were asking, is there any signals? And if somebody was in this trade, which wasn't ideal. Hopefully they went break even. It was around this area. But yeah, the only trade you could have taken was from the top this top, or from down here. And I'm guessing this swept. It just swept this, so technically there was no entry really. Besides probably if we made a fib range from here to here. And you got in at 0.5 of the fib. Aiming for 250. Let's see if that hits. Or 200 points. Yeah, that would hit. 200 points with 500 ticks. 500 SL. But yeah. And you could just held this for the whole day because that's literally just chop. Now, for the rest of the week, I honestly do not know what we're going to do. We could go back up to this gap, which I highly doubt. If anything, we go down first, rebalance this range, fill this whole gap, and then New York will go up. That's what I'm guessing. If not, then I'm going to trade a little light tomorrow. But besides that, we shall see. And these are all my entries. Now, I do want to go over how I draw my fibs. And basically the 3 types of fibs I have, right? So usually there would be 2 that I tell you guys about, but the third one I've seen recently happen over and over. So we're gonna go over the brush. So we have, let's say market goes like this, and does the open like that, and then leaves the opening. Then we have our range fib, which goes like this, taps us back in and skyrockets. And then we have our our break of the high and the low. So we have, oh whoops. We have our break of the high and the low. Pulls back, it then skyrockets. Right? Okay. So to draw this fib, it'll be from wick to wick. And then your OTE would be here. To draw a range fib, you would do from wick to wick as well. And your fill will be here. I didn't draw it perfectly, but you get what I mean. That would be your entry. Oh, whoops. That'd be your entry. Then your last fib, after it breaks and sweeps, boom, and boom. Right. Oh, whoops. Then you draw your fib from wick to body instead. And then your entry will be here. OTE. So, these are our 3 different types of fibs that I draw and have worked, as you've seen. Right? Now, I want to go over really quick. I believe it was how to draw the fib. Really quickly. All right. So we have this OTE range, right? We have this from the body to the wick. This is of market open. So this is a special case scenario. That's another fib you could take note of. I always draw that one. And then our entries there. And then here is our other fib and how I was telling you the difference. Let me see. Where to place the fib, right? So Oh no, this one was this one bad? Oh no, I think this one was the wrong one. This is our entry right here. Okay. Okay. So, whenever you're looking at this, right? Instead of drawing the fib to the last red candle, because I used to do that, and it kind of missed my entries and it kind of messed me up. What you want to do is draw it to when it sweeps the next red candle, right? Or the next green candle. So it sweeps this low, right? It didn't break structure. So I place it towards that bottom of this candle, and it wouldn't be the wick in this case because we're sweeping highs and lows. So you would place it right there at that low. You wouldn't place it out here. You would place it here. Same thing with over on this one. Right. Yeah, this one. So we have this whole range, right? We have a sweep here and here. So to make our fib, it would be from this sweep of this low, the wick, not to here, not to this high, right? I know it swept this high here, but if you let it continue and you see this big momentum, you could tell that this is actually our OTE range because we want to rebalance this range and come back and tap our 0.618. So we sweep this high instead. We take our range and you go to the highest high, boom, and that's our range, boom, right there. So basically, that's how you make your fibs. You can also say that it swept this high right here, and then you could continue to say that that would be where our fib would be placed, right here. Okay. Next would be our whole range until here, our newest high. So if you wanted to, you could have gotten into this trade right here from wick to wick of the range. Boom. And then here's our OT entry off London lows. Right here. Here's our OT range. But with these big ranges that you make the fib with, you just got to be careful because sometimes it'll reach lower to a smaller fib zone, right? So this zone is where 0.705 and 0.618 of a huge range fib, that's usually where price will go into and it'll go towards, right? It doesn't mean that this is our entry zone most of the time, but you could use it as an entry zone, like in this scenario, and then you could have did 200 points, which would take forever to hit, but it eventually did. Boom. Right now, like I was saying earlier, you would take wick to wick, right? And your entry zone would be right there. Now, if this doesn't work, you want to find the lowest fib you can. So when it breaks and sweeps structure, so it would be like right here. This would be our lowest fib. So this would be your next entry. If it reaches there and it doesn't break and stop you out up here, right? Or if it does stop you out, I mean. Right? So that's going over the fibs, the 3 fibs that I found. I'm not sure if that's the correct way Ivan does it, but this is the way I've been doing it and how I've interpreted his fibs. And I've made 4.4. I made 4K in 2 days, basically. 4K yesterday and 4K today. So just keep these type of patterns in mind, but they're not really patterns. They're things you want to see market do and possibly get your entry at that zone, right? So that's how I caught market high, buy the tick, and market lows, bottom tick, and all that. And then you can also tell off the fib. Where is it at? Which one was it? We have our -3 zone get tapped from our first range that was made. -3 right here. And that's our highest high. Boom. It's all technical analysis. This is our first range that was made after it sweeps both top and bottom. And that's where market topped out at. Now I could have reached forward more, right? But all I wanted market to do was tap into this gap, fill it at least halfway, right? So I could have gotten a fill down here if I wanted to, but I set a stop or set a limit at that 793.5, whatever. Took it to Asia lows and boom, smacked. That's basically how many trades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 trades, and one loss, one break even, and one just 250. So technically I lost 250 here, but I gained it back here, or I gained 250 back and lost it here. So technically 2 break evens and 4 wins, 1,000 each. Seems about right. 900 and then I think 2k here. So yeah, basically that's it for this video. Hopefully that helped you get through today's price action. And like I always say, never trade lunch. New York lunch and New York PM. It's not worth it, bruh. Just look at this. Look at the shop. Let's go back in time. New York lunch. I mean, I took a trade, but that's because I got in at the bottom, so I let it ride. But look at this chop. PM. Here's another one. PM. This was just straight huge chop. But the thing is, it stayed within the limits of New York AM. Is what one of my other people in the Discord says. It usually doesn't break New York high or New York low. But yeah. Alright, that's it for me. Peace out. Good luck in trading the rest of this week. If you're not trading, good, because you shouldn't be trading Christmas week. But yeah, bye bye. Peace out.